Young Thug walked into one of Atlanta's most well-known jewelry stores, picked out over $200,000 worth of chains, watches, and bracelets, and walked out without paying a single dollar. And the store let him. They smiled in his face, took photos with him, let him wear the jewelry in videos, and watched as he posted it all over social media. It looked like love. It looked like support. But then everything changed. The same store later hit him with a $365,000 lawsuit, trying to paint him as a fraud in front of the world. But here's what they didn't expect. Young Thug fought back. And when he did, he exposed something much bigger than just a dispute between a rapper and a jewelry store. He exposed a system where rappers' names, images, and influence are used as marketing tools, boosting business and attracting attention. And then, when it becomes more profitable, that same system turns around and takes legal action. Now, let's be clear. This isn't just a story about unpaid bills. When this situation first surfaced in 2018, many people assumed Young Thug was just being reckless with money, another rapper living beyond his means. But that's only the surface, because the reality is some jewelry businesses are built on this exact model. Take the jewelry now, pay later. This wasn't an accident. This was a business strategy. The real question is, whose strategy worked better? Now, here's where things get interesting. For those who don't follow the Atlanta jewelry scene, Icebox is not just any shop. They're one of the most recognized names in the entire hip-hop jewelry world. Located on Peachtree Road in Buckhead, one of Atlanta's wealthiest areas, their brand was built specifically around rappers, athletes, and celebrities. This isn't a mall jewelry store. They know exactly who their customers are and how to use them, because in the jewelry industry, there's a long-standing practice. Jewelry stores looking to break into the celebrity market often offer pieces on a deferred payment basis. Take the jewelry now, pay later. But there's a catch. The artist wears the jewelry publicly, posts it online, and shows it off to millions of followers. That exposure has real value. Every time a rapper like Young Thug posts a chain connected to Icebox, it becomes free marketing, sometimes worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. On the surface, it looks like a win-win. The artist gets to flex, the jeweler gets publicity, and eventually, the bill gets paid. But it goes deeper than that. Let's break it down step by step, because the timeline matters. In May 2017, Young Thug began doing business with Icebox. At that point, he wasn't an up-and-coming artist. He was already one of the biggest names in Atlanta, with YSL, major collaborations, and a strong cultural influence. So when Young Thug walked into that store, he wasn't just a customer. He was a walking advertisement. Every piece Young Thug wore was seen by millions. Icebox knew exactly who they were dealing with, and exactly what that exposure was worth. Between May 2017 and May 2018, across 4 separate visits, Young Thug walked out of Icebox with a $44,000 Rolex Skydweller, a $20,000 Cartier bracelet, $10,000 Cartier Love bracelet, with diamonds, a custom $30,000 Miami Cuban link diamond wallet chain with a rose gold clasp. That's over $200,000 worth of jewelry, taken without a single full upfront payment. Now think about that. How does a store let someone walk out with $200,000 in merchandise on a promise to pay later? That's not normal business. If you walked into a car dealership and said, "I'll pay later," they wouldn't hand you the keys to a $200,000 car. So what made the situation different? According to Young Thug's legal team, this was part of a predatory business model, and we'll get deeper into that. But to be fair, Thug did make payments. Over that same period, he paid around $95,000 toward the total. That's nearly half. But then, the payment stopped. He had paid less than half of what he owed, leaving a remaining balance of over $115,000. When Icebox tried to collect, they reportedly received no response. No reply from Thug. No communication from his team. Just silence. On October 16th, 2018, Icebox's attorney sent a formal demand letter to his last known address. They gave him 30 days to either pay the remaining balance or respond to discuss the situation. And they made it clear, if he didn't respond, they would take legal action. Young Thug reportedly never responded. So in November 2018, shortly after his release from Decatur County Jail on a drug-related case, Icebox filed a lawsuit in Fulton County Superior Court. But they weren't just asking for the remaining $115,905.50. They also demanded $250,000 in punitive damages. That brought the total to $365,000. And they made it public. That's when everyone realized this wasn't just a quiet payment dispute. This was a statement. But here's where everything changed. Young Thug didn't just sit back and accept it. His legal team fired back with a strong counterclaim, one of the most aggressive responses you'll see in a case like this. And what they revealed made the situation much bigger than just unpaid jewelry. They accused Icebox of running a predatory business practice. Let's break that down. According to Young Thug's legal filings, Icebox didn't just passively allow him to take jewelry. They actively pursued him. Over several months, they allegedly repeatedly approached him, encouraged him to take pieces, urged him to accept jewelry without any upfront payment. They also reportedly assured him that the terms would be flexible, payment details could be worked out later. In simple terms, Young Thug's team claims Icebox intentionally placed expensive jewelry in his hands, made the deal seem relaxed, and only later enforced strict payment demands, backed by legal action. Now the real question is, why would a jewelry business operate like that? From Icebox's perspective, it starts to make sense. Because if a major artist like Young Thug is walking around Atlanta wearing your jewelry, that's not just a customer. That's marketing on a massive scale.